Greetings, this is Darth Vader, and I would be honored if you would join me as we explore how my fate and the fate of the entire galaxy would have changed if Palpatine and Mace Windu had killed each other that night. Let us go back to the time I was sitting in the council chambers, worried about all of the negative possibilities. Would my wife and child survive? Would Palpatine be able to teach me what he knows? What if he gets arrested, and then he's no longer able to show me what he knows? How can I save him? How can I save my family without violating all I believe in with the Jedi Order? All of this anxiety is too much for me, and like any human being in my scenario, I start to feel a tingling sensation in the bottom of my intestines, so I run to the nearest bathroom and evacuate my bowels. However, my relief is short-lived because I notice that there is no toilet paper in the stall that I rushed to. In a panicked hurry, I reach out to Jocasta Nu through the Force, who is kind enough to bring me a replacement roll after she nearly passes out from the stench of opening the door to give it to me. Meanwhile, Mace Windu and Palpatine are fighting a fierce battle, with Mace Windu redirecting Palpatine's lightning back at him, and Palpatine's face getting melted. Without me being there to distract them, Mace Windu slides his lightsaber through Palpatine's chest. With Palpatine's last little bit of energy, he shoots even more lightning at Mace Windu, frying him into a crispy but cool-looking Ghost Rider wallpaper image before flinging his carcass out of the window. I arrive to see Palpatine draw his last breaths, thinking that he is going to heal himself so that he can show me how to stop people from dying, but instead he just simply expires, which makes me venomously angry, because if he could save people, he would have saved himself. That means that he was lying to me the entire time. Without thinking, I rush to Padme's room to make sure that she is okay, and that is when I hear a loud pounding knock at the door. It's the clone troopers, who have arrived with a warrant for my arrest, and I ask them on what grounds do they want to arrest me, and they say because I am the last person seen on camera leaving from Palpatine's office after he's been assassinated, and that they wish to interrogate me. However, this is nothing that a simple Jedi mind trick cannot fix. I use Jedi mind trick to convince them that this is all a misunderstanding and that I am not under arrest. After they leave, I sneak into Palpatine's office to try to find some evidence that I can use to prove his guilt to the Senate and clear my name. However, there are some Senate guards present, but that is nothing that a simple force push out of a window cannot solve. After all, I'm kind of desperate in this scenario, and I need to find it. I find a holo recording that shows that he has been communicating to separatists in Mustafar, which means that he has been working and manipulating the separatist army the entire time. My blood boils in disgust. I immediately jump into my starship and I reach out through the Force to Obi-Wan to have him meet me on Mustafar to capture the separatist leader. Fortunately, Obi-Wan was already on his way to Mustafar because after killing General Grievous, this time he did not get shot at by the clones. He was able to do a proper investigation of all of the evidence and security recordings on Utapau, and he found a recording of General Grievous telling the separatists to go to Mustafar. So coincidentally, we both arrive there at the same time, we arrest Nute Gunray, and we drag him before the Senate to testify. That is when Nute Gunray decides to, in exchange for a full pardon for himself and all of the separatists in the galaxy, he explains everything. He spills all of his guts. He sings like a bird, explaining what Palpatine was doing and all of the schemes. He presents all of the evidence and recorded conversations that he has, proving that the Jedi were innocent and that Palpatine was the guilty party. This causes an uproarious argument in the Senate because the faction of the Galactic Republic that was more loyal to Palpatine and his imperial ways is now at disagreement with the faction that is more loyal to the Republic and freedom and justice and security. These two factions of the Senate nearly come to blows, and this amount of stress causes Padme in the Senate chambers to go into labor. That is when she winds up giving birth to Luke and Leia. Obi-Wan and I rush to her side to help deliver the babies, and that is when Obi-Wan takes Luke into his arms and says, "Do not worry, little Luke. You will become a great Jedi like your father is." And that is when I look at Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan looks at me and says, "It was painfully obvious. You spent half your nights at Padme's house. Of course we knew you were going to get her pregnant. It was very obvious that you two are together. You can't hide anything from me. I raised you, Anakin. Remember that. I am very proud of you, but right now we need to try to mend the galaxy." However, that is something that we prove unable to do. The galaxy itself, with the faction that is loyal to the Republic and the faction that wanted to become an empire under Palpatine, end up having a galactic civil war with each other. And unfortunately, since both sides had control of clone regiments, they end up having clones try to shoot at each other. This is something that causes the clones to absolutely boycott the galaxy because, number one, they are very loyal to each other, and number two, they have honor. So the clones decide not to be used to shoot at each other. They boycott the galaxy and just decide to move to Mandalore, letting the Galactic Republic sort out its own conflict alone. Meanwhile, Yoda senses all of this happening, and he is about to have an existential meltdown because the galaxy that he has wasted centuries of his life defending and supporting can't even hold itself together. He feels like an utter fool. He feels like he has lost his way. He is completely demoralized as a Jedi Master. He just lost half of his Jedi Council and the galaxy he loved and wanted to protect, all in one fell swoop, and he didn't even do anything about it. And he was fighting a war to defend something that was over with anyway. This makes him realize he has lost his way in the Force. He has lost his focus. He is not who he should be. So he decides to resign as the High Master, as Grandmaster of the Jedi Council, and hand that title over to Obi-Wan. Because Obi-Wan already knows about me and Padme, and he's cool with it, he decides as Grandmaster to do two things. Number one, he amends the Jedi Code to allow marriage, and he pats me on the shoulder and says, "Take care of her. Don't lose her like I lost Satine." And that is when I give him a hug. The second thing that he does is he relocates the Jedi to Dantooine, where we are no longer puppets of the Galactic Republic. Instead, we reclaim our identity as justice-loving vigilantes that fight for truth and peace regardless of what government we are fighting for. Speaking of government, the Galactic Republic dissolves and becomes several dozen smaller mini-republics that have control over their own jurisdictions and openly trade with each other without having a massive, unwieldy central power that could easily be corrupted. And I am able to raise Luke and Leia peacefully, living together and fighting for justice and for the good of the galaxy. And that is how it would go if Palpatine and Windu killed each other. Let me know what you think in the comments below.